Take a seat, my friend. I've got a great story to tell you today. Once upon a time, in the not-so-distant past, I were surveying the rocky province of Gibraltar for the Explorers League. 'Twas a hot day, and me and me crew were parched after working under the hot sun. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a big black dragon soared over the sky. A dragon we now know as Deathwing. The sky turned black and then red and then black as he unleashed a torrent of flame from his jaws. While this were all happening, the ground was shaking. A massive tremor that shocked the earth. I felt me feet give way and I plummeted into the earth as it tore open. I thought I was a dead man at this point, falling through a sundered Gibraltar. I hit something hard suddenly and started to slide, down and around, not knowing where I was going. Then I saw a light in front of me, a reddish glow coming from the end of the tunnel. Before I knew it, I was falling again, down into a lava-filled pit. But Brann Bronzebeard doesn't give up that easily. I grabbed my whip and flicked it out, grabbing anything that I could. It latched onto a rock above me, and I swung with all of the might in me wee legs to a ledge. After getting my breath back, I looked around, trying to make out what I could of my surroundings. I was in a dark, fire-filled chasm that looked almost hellish. Down below, I noticed a species I recognised: orcs. Big, burly ones, dressed in a battle gear I had never seen before. It seemed as if my dramatic entrance had gone unnoticed, so I started moving along the ledge, trying to spot a way out of this place. But as I shimmied across, some loose rocks underfoot crumbled and fell down into the chasm. I looked down in horror as the rock fell down and thumped one of the orcs on the head. His buddy was quite surprised that a bit of rock had fallen from the sky. He looked up and his teeny weeny eyes latched onto me. He cried out at the top of his lungs, "Sound the alarm! There's a dwarf in Ragefire!" Some of the nearby guards were alerted by this cry and rushed over. "What do we do with this one then?" asked one orc to another. "We cannot let the war chief find out. If he sees that it's this easy to get in here, then we're all dead meat. We need to get him down and feed him to Adderog." Now I had no idea what an Adderog was, despite all of my years of travelling, but I wasn't waiting around to find out. I needed a plan, and fast. Fortunately for me, sometimes my plans write themselves. As I was just about to attempt another swing to a higher ledge, a behemoth of a worm jumped out from the lava behind and obliterated all who stood before me down below. Once the worm has delved back into the depths, I knew I had no better chance to escape. I swung down to the ground and made a run towards another cave in the distance. As I approached the entrance, I could hear voices. I slid myself up against the wall, as thin as a dwarf can be, and made my way to the mouth of this new cave. Peeping around the corner, I could see light high up on the roof, above a small ledge at the back of the cave. I knew that that must be my way out. Unfortunately for me, an instantly recognisable orc was standing before me at the exit. Garrosh, the war chief of the horde, was stood there, conversing with a brutish orc. "How goes the summoning of creatures from the Firelands, Gordoth?" asked Garrosh to the other orc. "Well, my war chief, although Slagmore is proving quite a handful to control," Gordoth replied. "I'd like you to channel more energies into it, Gordoth. I don't think you or your men are working hard enough." What they were on about, I had no idea. It sounded like they were raising an army of some sorts, but I wasn't waiting around to find out. I had to think of some sort of distraction to prise them away from the room. I looked in my backpack for anything that I could find. All I had was a few tinkers, maps and climbing equipment. No use. But at the bottom of my bag was something I could use. Come, Gordoth. There is someone here who shouldn't be. Given to me last winter's veil by my late brother Magni was a robot known as the Braintron 1000. Grrr, what is that thing? Well, it appears to be a dancing robot, my war chief. I can see that, you absolute idiot. Someone must have placed it there. Find them. I always knew that the robot would come in handy one day. While they were distracted, I snuck past them. As I ran towards the exit, I could hear a thunder of footsteps behind me. I flicked my lasso up into the air and swung as fast as I could from the cave, not even daring to look back. So, that's how I ended up in Ragefire Chasm. Now, I think you owe me a drink.